The laces on these things are ridiculous. Oh my god.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another GingerRunner.com review. I'm very excited about today's review. We're back in the groove of reviewing gear. I've actually had these shoes for a number of months, just been holding on to and waiting for this review. Today, our kicks come to us from Altra. It's a brand new shoe from them, the Duo. I've spent a long time in these shoes, managed to do tons of different road mileages, distances, have a solid feel for what they're all about. The shoe itself features what they're calling a Max LT midsole material. I'm guessing it's Max Light. Innerflex or flex grooves on the outsole for additional flexibility. A hyper light upper, very breathable mesh. The shoe is meant to give you cushion, space, and road speed. In fact, this is Altra's most spacious shoe to date, according to them. Funny thing is, I feel like this shoe is aimed right at that gap that the Hoka Clifton 1 left, and that shoe changed and evolved. There are a lot of design elements that are eerily similar to that missed shoe, and I welcome them, and I like it. Alright, so there's lots of things to love about the Altra Duo, only a couple of potentially major issues. I will get to both sides of the coin here in today's review, as always. One thing I love is that Altra does watch these reviews. They take their feedback very seriously. It's really cool to see a brand do that. Future versions always have tweaks, changes, and their goal is ultimately a better shoe. So how does the Altra Duo stack up? Let's find out. We'll talk about the things I like and dislike, starting, as always, with the things that I like. The upper. This is the first thing I noticed with this shoe, pulling it right out of the box. The upper is super thin. It's a very breathable, thin mesh with TPU overlays throughout the shoe. Nice stiff heel counter. They're shaving a considerable amount of weight by just how light and airy this upper is. I mean, just look at the ankle line. It's very thin, especially coming from Altra, which has shoes like this, the Instinct 4.5. You can tell that those ankle collars are drastically different. I much prefer this. And that super thin tongue. So the upper, putting this whole piece of the puzzle together, it's a good thing. I like it a lot. Weight. The upper being, again, very reduced, very thin yet durable, and the midsole being made of their Max LT material. Those two together make a pretty dynamic duo. See what I did there? Giving you a lot of what people love. Cushion, comfort, speed, adaptability in a solidly lightweight package. This shoe, size 11, comes in just under 10 ounces, 9.7 ounces. Size 10.5 comes in at just over 9 ounces, 9.1 ounces. Not featherweight, but lightweight, especially when compared to other Max cushion shoes. Responsive. Now, what I was thinking I was going to get was a super plush cloud-like feel, maybe something close to what the Paradigm is or the Olympus, both from Altra. But what I got is not a super plush ride, but a nice responsive yet slightly cushioned ride, leaning more towards responsive. It still works great for those long runs. I mean, this shoe is great for going fast for the shorter distances, 10Ks, but all the way up to a marathon, you're good to go. The shoe does well throughout the speed spectrum. And finally, the innerflex, or these flex grooves here on the outsole, which actually go a little bit up into the midsole and provide you with some extra flexibility and spring. I like that. Gives you that extra bit of momentum. You feel like you're just constantly moving forward in the shoe. You're not losing a ton of energy with something with such a high stack height, being a more max cushion shoe. It's nice to see that it's able to retain a little bit of that flexibility, and those flex grooves help a lot. All right, that's it for things that I like. Let's move on to the things that I dislike, starting with what has been my biggest problem with this shoe: sizing. All right. I started with this shoe months ago, size 11, which is usually what I wear across the line for Altra. Never really had an issue before, but this shoe, because of its max volume and has a lot of room for your foot to move around, I was never able to get this shoe tight. The laces in the upper began to stretch over time, gradually got to a point where my foot would just slide out. The heel becomes really loose and the whole shoe becomes a problem. It's just too big and voluminous. That led me to believe maybe size 11 isn't what I need. Maybe I need a size 10.5. So I got one. And my toes rubbed the front of the shoe, and it's a complete disaster. So I'm super disappointed, because everything else about the shoe I'm really into. The sizing, I just can't get around it. Wearing double layer socks just defeats the purpose of having a nice, light, breathable upper. Yeah, I think it comes down to a volume issue. And honestly, volume was never a problem that I ever had with Altras. I always feel like they have plenty of it. So to have more of it in a shoe ended up causing a problem with my foot. The Innerflex. The flex grooves on the bottom. I know I'm talking about how much I love them, but they also cause an additional problem, and that's rock collection. Even if you run on pancake smooth pavement, nowhere near a rocky driveway or a gravel path, somehow your shoes will suck up rocks like a Hoover. Next thing you know, you'll be tap dancing down the street. You can see a couple in this brand new pair, and you'll just have to trust me that Daddy Long Lace back there also has a bunch of rocks in the outsole. It might not seem like a big issue to you. just be ready for it. I completely gave up trying to get them out all the time. Ankle lock. I was surprised by this. It's a pretty nitpicky dislike, but to be honest, I wasn't able to get the shoe locked down, as I'd already mentioned, but not having an extra eyelet up here at the top. We've got 6 as opposed to 7, which most Ultras have 7. I was able to kind of jerry-rig it, get the ankle lock lacing in there, but it just did not lock down the ankle as well as I'd hoped. Would love to see them add a hole. Obviously, I can MacGyver it myself, but really, should I have to? Would that solve the sizing issue? No, but it would certainly help solve the ankle lock issue. But that, my friends, is it for dislikes with the Altra Duo. I think it's a pretty awesome new shoe from them. Maybe because it's the first iteration that we're going to see the shoe evolve a little bit. I hope they keep the lightness. I hope they keep the flexibility. I don't know, there's lots of things to like about the shoe, but there's a couple of glaring problems that I hope you do not encounter if you go and try them out. Yeah, all right, so let's move on to points, shall we? Quality, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. I think the elements that they have put together work well. I think there's a couple of flaws that might cause some problems for some of you. Comfort, 4 out of 5. I was actually pretty pleased with this. Of course, I would like a little bit softer midsole material, but because it's so light, I'm okay with it being a little bit more responsive, and the flexibility definitely keeps it from being too stiff. So comfort, yeah, I have a lot of fun going long in the shoe. 4 out of 5. Price, at 130 bucks, it's kind of on that steep end. It's right there with the Hoka Clifton, but it is also a lot less shoe than that, which I think is a good thing, but the price is, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5, but it's borderline 3 out of 5. And finally, looks, 4 out of 5, borderline 3, but I like the color version of this one. This is kind of like a dark, deep midnight blue with orange. Bronco fans will love it, but I personally don't mind it either. The other color version is eerily similar to a version 1 Clifton, which I don't mind. I prefer this. Which brings our grand total to 16 out of 20. All of you that keep track of all of my points are going to just love that statistic. But certainly, this shoe, if I were to give it a buy, try, or a Y, is a solid try. I want you to put your foot in it and try it out for yourself. It could lead to a buy, so I'm going to give it the try buy. It's a fun shoe. I've had a lot of joy running in it. There are a couple of the problems that I just get aggravated by. I hope it gets resolved. And that, my friends, is my review of the Altra Duo. I am super curious. If you managed to get yourself a pair of these, let me know in the comments what you think of the shoe, what you think of it with first impressions. If you'd like to find out more information about the shoe or get it for yourself, it'll be available very, very soon. Link in the description. You can go check that out. And that is it for this review. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, like, favorite, and share this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/thegingerrunner. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. We'll be doing something pretty fun once we hit that number. All the social media links are right there, including a link over to the Patreon page if you want to help support us, keep the lights on, mics hot, all that good stuff. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. There's fun perks on the back end. All right, my friends, get out there, train hard, race harder, and part of the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week for another Ginger Runner video. All right, bye.